Alright, Shalom. I'm the brother Tasiyat coming back with another video. But before I start off, I would like to give all praises and the highest honor to the Most High Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai, Ba'asham Kakodash. I want to give double honor to my elder apostles and teachers of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the sincere Akiyam across this world, who are spreading this knowledge and truth and this sincerity. Shalom to the few sincere brothers and sisters out there who are also listening, and may the election be upon your households. God Shalom. So as you can see the title, protest in Holland for you know what, and I have to type it like this because they might try to do something with the video, I don't know. But yesterday, if I'm correct, one of these days, there was a whole protest going on in Amsterdam, and if I'm correct, in Rotterdam and The Hague. But I believe Amsterdam, you know, were like 200,000, 250,000 people gathering together to protest against the killings that is going on there over there in the Gaza thing. And there were so many people, man. And someone that I spoke said that even a few small heads were also in the midst of this protest because they are against Yahoo. So that's funny. But I was listening to this conversation as I was at work, and then I was just acting like, oh yeah, it's horrible what is happening over there with the children being killed and things. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, it's a judgment of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, man. Because what the fuck are they doing in our land? It's not their land. Neither is it the land of the small heads. So what are they doing there, man? It's like you have a house, and you basically go away out of your house, and then 20 years later, you come back, you're trying to get back to your house. Now all of a sudden, there's two people fighting over your house. You know, these people are attacking each other's families and over that house. Meanwhile, it was never their house. What the fuck are they doing there? It's your house. It makes no sense. So the same goes with this, man. Israel, the land is not their land, it's our land. So they have no right in the first place to be there. Second of all, it don't matter if they're trying to fight for their land, if it so-called belongs to the Palestinians, to the Arabians, because they don't belong there in the first place, man. They just live there, but it doesn't mean that they are how do you say that? Have the right to have the inheritance of the land. It's given by Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai, to us, the real Israelites, which are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and the one that don't look like us but go back to the same bloodline. So until we are back in that land, there will never be peace, man. Then there will always be a war going on. Because if they would really be the children of Israel right there, then there would be no war. Like Isaiah 2 says, no more war at all. The nations would listen to our laws. That's not happening right now. The same goes to these Palestinians. They're not gonna have no rest, as long as they're trying to occupy our land. So Yahweh Shai is gonna return very soon, and he's gonna fix everything, and then the real rightful owners will be back in that land. But of course, when I was talking to these people, they were Turkish. I was just acting like it's so-called sad and whatnot. Meanwhile, in the back of my mind, I was like, man, y'all don't know. Yeah. They was asking me questions like, yeah, man, why is this happening, man? How can a small child be terrorist? This, that. I was in the back of my mind like, hey, they must have done something in their past life to get this judgment from Yahweh Bashim Yashai, because nobody perishes being innocent. But all scriptures in my mind. And one of them goes, is the book of Joel, chapter 3. Let me start at verse 3. Let me start at verse 1. Slakia, it says, for behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, so meaning we are not going to be going into slavery anymore, bring back, so return, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Yahweh Shabbat. So the valley of Yahweh Shabbat, here it says Yehoshaphat, but in the Hebrew it's Yahweh Shabbat, meaning Yahweh's judgment. And he is gathering all these nations where? In the Middle East. Okay? That is where these nations are being gathered and going to fight the battle of Armageddon. Like Revelation 16 and 16 says, you know? Dumbass God. Revelation 16 and 16 says, you know? And Armageddon means mountain of troops, if I'm correct, you know? So it's prophecy that this is going on in the Middle East, because now you have Iran backing up Palestine, you know. You have America, Holland, etc. backing Israel. So there are multiple nations gathering their troops, resources, and supporting one side, and other countries, Russia, China, supporting the other side, you know. So there's going to be a major clash, all right? So like I said, man, nobody perished being innocent. Going back to the question that is a person from Turkey asked me, like, yeah, how can a small child be seen as a terrorist? Is that and the third? Hey, their whole seed, their whole bloodline, you know, was against us, man. So let me say that this: from the Edomites, ain't nobody gonna make it, man. You know, because the people that live in the land of Israel today go back to a tribe that is called Amalek, and they are the chief tribe, okay, the head tribe of the whole nation of Esau, the so-called white race. But you also have the so-called Palestinians there also occupying that land, and they also are not gonna be safe. You know, they are heathens, man, and they put us into captivity. They put us into slavery. To this day, they call us slaves. You know, so the Most High is judging them for what they have done to us. And if you don't believe it, we're gonna read it, man. It says, "And will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel." That is what the Most High is doing. He's pleading them with his heathens for what they have done to his people, the Israelites. Okay, the real Israelites, which is us, not the people that live in the land today, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. That's what I did with the land, dividing the land for themselves. They scattered us throughout all these nations with slavery, you know. And they have cast lots for my people, and they have given a boy for a harlot, and sold a girl for wine. That's what they did in slavery, you know, fucking little children, little boys, you know, how do you say that? Our ancestors, you know, had children, and then they was fucking those children, you know, boys, a man, a full-grown man was fucking a little child and shit. That's crazy, man. Selling a girl for wine. You know, a small child being sold for a glass of wine. You know, they was doing mad things to us. They was castrating us, burning us, cutting us into pieces, feeding us alive to animals like dogs. You know, as you can see in the movie Django Unchained, for example. They was doing these things, man. Okay, and these Arabians also, they've been selling us into slavery, man, for multiple centuries, you know. So it says here, what have for wine that they might drink? Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Sidon, and all the coasts of Palestine? Will you render me a recompense? And if you recompense me, so recompense, a payback, basically. So you have done something wrong and you want to return the favor. You want to give something back. And if you recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head. The Most High is like, I don't need your recompense. Take it back, man. He wants that vengeance, man. Blood for blood. You know, the land cannot be cleansed of him that shed the blood. Something like that, the scripture goes, man. I forgot it. But either way, the land can only be cleansed if the blood is being spilled of the ones that spilled our blood. You know? So, look at America, for example, what they did to our ancestors, the Native Americans, our people, which are also Israelites. Columbus, you know, they're spilling the blood of our ancestors. Till this day, they're spilling our blood, man. So that whole land is going to be destroyed, man, America. You know, by their blood being spilled, so-called white people. Okay, so that protest that was going on, yes, a lot of people gathered together to protest, but they don't know that Yahweh Bashim Yashai is judging all these people over there, man. You know, they can get protest all you want, it's not gonna change it. You know, and it's gonna get even worse, man. Can you imagine? It's gonna get even worse. You see? Hey, Shalom, Yahweh Bashim Yashai Bashim Kakadash Bakata. So it's gonna get even more worse than what you're seeing happening right now, man. 200,000, 250,000 people gathering together for a protest. You know, there was marching, walking from point A to point B and back. You know, was a few hours there. That I mean, they don't mean nothing, man. You know, these people that live in the land today, they don't belong there. There's never gonna be no rest, no peace in that land unless we are back in our own land. You know, like Isaiah 2 says, man. Then there will be peace. Okay, so let me read this also. Ezekiel 36 verse 2. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, because the enemy has said against you, aha, even the ancient high places are ours in possession. Okay, so who's saying this, man? Esau, man. The Amalekites are now living in our land, you know, the ancient land, the ancient place, which is the land of Israel. All right, they think that they got it going on over there. Meanwhile, they was brought there with a Balfour Declaration, so that it's not even their land. You know, Zechariah 9:6, and a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod, and I will cut off the pride of the Philistines. You know, the bastard also speaking about Esau, if I'm correct. You know, dwelling in our land right now. They don't belong there, neither do the Palestinians. Okay. Revelation 3:9. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan. So these people that live in the land of Israel today, they worship Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Though these people call themselves Jewish, you know, though they proclaim to be us. Meanwhile, Jew comes from Judah, which is one of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. So what happened to the other tribes then? Plus, they call themselves Jewish. If I call you childish, does it mean that you are a child? No, you just act like one, right? So if they call themselves Jewish, the ish makes it seem like they are trying to be like us, man. But they don't. They are not us, you know. They call themselves Jewish because they are not the real Jews, man. Okay. So let me read the rest here. It says, "Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee." So Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is going to make these Edomites worship before the real children of Israel, before our feet, man. So he's already setting us in order before the eyes of the heathen. But in the kingdom, this is going to be fully in effect, man. These people are going to be in hardcore slavery for 1,000 years, what they've done to us. So imagine this, man. If they have to go to 1,000 years of hardcore slavery, do you know how meaningless their apologies is and their so-called retributions right now? Like in Holland, the minister was so-called giving an apology to Suriname for slavery and things that happened. That is so meaningless if you think about it. If they still have 1,000 years of slavery to go through, man. That whole money, doesn't matter how much money they try to give to us, the Lord ain't accepting nothing, man. He's gonna give them that physical punishment that they deserve. You know? So let me see. So basically, you know, that was it, man. On this subject, Lord willing, was edifying. I want to give all praises and highest honor to the Most High Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakadash. I want to give double honor to my elder apostles and teachers of Great Millstone, and peace and salutation to the sincere Akim across this world, who are spreading this knowledge and truth and sincerity. And shalom to the few sincere brothers and sisters out there who are also listening. And may the lecture be for your households. God shalom.